Hello, my YouTubers, and this is Deb Chanel 48's World coming to you with a review of the Housewives of Atlanta, Season 8, Episode 14, Peaches of the Caribbean. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Uh huh. Sorry about that, guys. Once again, we are reviewing Season 8, Episode 14, The Real Housewives of Atlanta in Rio, Jamaica. And it's Peaches of the Caribbean. I'm basically going to try to go through this one a little bit faster because it's thundering here in Atlanta. And I'm doing this review at 9:17 p.m. and I'm trying to watch the Grammys as well. But I wanted to get up on my reviews because I'm kind of getting behind. So if you bear with me, and we'll just go through it real quick, okay? Because it was a little hot and bothered in some points, but we're just gonna go to it, and here we go, and this is where we're going with it. Okay, the first scene is taking place as it left off with Kenya and Cynthia in the hotel room trying to get their story straight. Pretty much, Cynthia was backpedaling and trying to have a boss chick attitude, like, she ain't bothered, she ain't disturbed, whatever she feel about it, she gonna get out of her feelings and keep it moving. Then, she's pretty much asking Kenya was she finished with all her drama, pretty much basically what she was saying. And Kenya was like taking back, like, why you getting all Russified and all this mess. But then they were on a taping schedule and they were trying to get to Kingston or going somewhere with Peter, trying to visit his kinfolks. But anyway, like I said, Cynthia was very rude, and since she had her Nene back in the picture, she pretty much felt she pretty much felt that, she was on point. She had Nene in her corner. Her ace boon coon was bad, and she didn't care nothing about Kenya or any of that. But anyway, Kenya took it in stride. I was very proud of Kenya. She put her point, down, told her how she felt about it, had mixed emotions, but hey, she was there with her man. Her man Matt was sexy and fine, and she gonna continue to roll with him. And toodles and kudos to the rest of them bitches. Okay. So she politely got herself up because, Cynthia had already displayed or told her verbally that her husband was waiting on her, da 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 dee, and they didn't have anything else to talk about, especially not about this particular subject. So anyway, we went on to the next clip. That's when Cynthia called herself dragging herself to the bus because everybody else had hopped on the bus, was ready to go, and they was looking for her and Kenya and Matt and Mallory. And anyway, Matt and Kenya decided to fall back, stay back, and enjoy themselves at the hotel or the resort. And Mallory and Cynthia came and boarded the bus so they can go on to Kingston area where Peter had resided or grew up in his younger years. And anyway, she coming in like she's so haggard and so, I don't know. She was just playing a good acting game. Kudos, you win the award for best food. But anyway, she got on the bus explaining why she was late. Kenya saying Kenya had stormed out her suite because she was upset about what she had heard from someone. One of the guests had told them that she didn't value the friendship. She didn't consider Kenya a friend, da 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 da. And she was pretty much trying to get her straight. Then she went and got in theatrical mode and was just going on, getting emotional and, crying at a drop of a hat, saying that Kenya was upset and she don't know why she was so upset because all of her friendships are different in nature. She has a different friendship with Nene. She has a different friendship with Candy, Phaedra, Portia, so on and so forth. When we all know she's just lying. But anyway, not one time, since Nene's supposed to be her ace boo coon, she loves Cynthia. She this, that, and the other. Cynthia loved her, this, that, and the other. And now one time when Cynthia was doing all that crying, trying to keep it together and hold it together for filming purposes, of course. But Nene did not get up, did not try to console her, did not give her a piece of paper or tissue paper to wrap her eyes. Any of that you would do to a fellow friend or loved one that you cared about and you didn't want to see them in distress. But she didn't do anything. She just like puzzled, like, I would be crying over that mess and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of friend she's trying to keep in reserve and try to keep on point and in high esteem. And she letting you go up there crying and nobody could give you anything. Yeah, your even husband didn't try to console you. He looked at you like you was a fool. But anyway, she goes in to continue to try to explain what she felt about the issue, and she don't know why somebody would go and tell such lies. And a hit dog will holler when they kind of put in the mix of things. And Sheree just went on and said, turned around on the bus, said, "Yeah, I told her. Yes, I had explained to her that she uh, was being, punked out, that you did not consider her a friend, da da dee, da da da." And, you know, Cynthia's gonna go on and forth and say, I didn't say that, da 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 da. If you're gonna take something back, get it right, da 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 da. Well, she did get it right, Cynthia. She might have didn't put them in the words that you would have liked her to put them in, but she was telling the truth. You had punked out. You had put Nene back on this high ass pedestal, the one that she female made, and the one that was trying to take your peach from you and put you off the show. And then you have to, I don't know, go back on tour with your modeling or go be a seamstress, or I don't know what you do these days. But anyway, that's the look that you had gave out. And I commend Sheree. She going straight for her peach. And darn right, she ain't going to be no guest or no participant in that way. She going to come and take your peach because it's up for grabs. You don't really have no solidification there anymore. It's just one of those things. You tried to hold your own. They tried to boss you up and give you a backbone to stand on, but no, you have paralysis now, and you might just sit yourself down, get a back brace, and call it a day. Because even Peter's fighting for your peach, and that's bad. That you got people, a man and a woman, coming for you. But I can just see it in writing. It has been written on the wall. You're not gonna be too much longer in that show, because with Sheree trying to get back in there, she doing a damn good job trying to make herself known again, and she's the only one that can go toe to toe with Nene and don't give two rats ass about it. So that's how I see it. You're not a good friend. And then you had Kim Fields. I'm like, Kim, there was no need for you to be over exaggerating to the point that you felt Cynthia had left your name out about she not having a good friendship with you. You already knew she chose you over Kenya and her antics with the production job and the directing job. So it was like, whatever. That circle I. Oh, anyway, like I said, I was, trying to do two things at one time, but it's okay. But anyway, then it goes on to I was just saying with Kim, just sit your ass down. You already got kudos. You already got your self-directing and orchestrating everything for us the photo shoot. Sit your behind down, enjoy your husband, enjoy your time out, and just chill. Don't try to be added addition into anything else because they still gunning for you. Now I like you. I like what you've given me this season, and let's just keep it at that. Okay, stay in your lane like you've always have been, and just keep it moving. Okay. The next scene goes into Matt and Kenya having their own little getaway and discussing the issues that had transpired between her and Cynthia in Cynthia's suite prior to them all leaving for the Kingston outing that Peter had put together for them. And they were both dressed for the occasion because they were filming. It wasn't like a closed session where they just had cameras propped up or in microphones where they could do what they needed to do. But it was just like a little soaking scene where they were enjoying each other, but it was more so um, Matt being Kenya's soundboard to what was disturbing her with their talk. And she was telling Matt that her and Cynthia had been, friends and kicking it for the last 4 years. That Nene hadn't been in the show, and they had grown real fond of each other. I don't think they really called each other best friends or had that kind of connection like her and Nene had. But like I said, Nene just had Cynthia as a little flunky. So, and she played that role real well, got an Oscar for it. I just thought I'd throw that shade. Anyway, we all know from us watching the show everything that had transpired between their relationship and how really Nene felt about Cynthia as well as her husband Peter. So we know it wasn't positive and we know it wasn't productive towards the end. And Nene went and did other endeavors as far as making money and called herself making moves, in Los Angeles and hell, Las Vegas. I'm not sure, pretty sure where she was really, but she wasn't on the show and she wasn't in Atlanta, and because she was a rich bitch, remember? Okay, Donald Trump money, but you know, so Kenya was just basically using, like I said, Matt as a soundboard to basically tell him, the little history about all of their relationships where it pertains to Nene. And, he was just real considerate and taking everything in and making his own conclusions in his own head. But basically he was just trying to soothe Kenya, make her feel as comfortable as possible, and so they can get some love in the end, because it wasn't no sense of her really spending a lot of time, a lot of negative time talking about people that really wasn't paying her bills and wasn't really fully in her life. But I understand Kenya because she did have a lot of filming time with Cynthia, as well as she was calling herself having a sisterhood type relationship because she didn't have any family other than her aunt and her cousin here in Georgia, from what I know or what they've shown us. She could have more relatives, but they're not filming with her. But she really enjoyed Cynthia's company. Cynthia was there for a lot of negative emotions that she was going through, and she was there to lend her shoulder for her to cry on, and she had given her emotional support and backing at the time that Nene was doing her own thing. And like I said, they did have a 4 year stint to where they were relying on each other and enjoying each other's company. So for Cynthia to kind of make like it wasn't really anything, that she was holding all things out for Nene to come back and scoop up or whatever, like a little lesbian tease they was giving me, or maybe they all had a foursome together, Peter, Greg, and Nene and Cynthia. We never know. That's just my weird perspective that was going on in my head. So that's pretty much it. Then it went on to uh, them arriving at Peter's Kingston homeland area, and I'm thinking it's real built up, plush type of environment, but it kind of gave me like a low ghetto income type population of people, and a farmer's market that was like right there on the island where you can go and pick whatever you wanted to eat and they would cook it for you on the spot, and type of eatery on the beach type scene, like I can't think of anything, but like if you were in San Francisco and you want a boardwalk or something to that effect, you could have like any eatery type junctures right there on the beach setting. But that's how it was. And what's the name? Aunt Faye and Uncle Jasper came and met Peter when he got off the bus, and the rest of his entourage that he had brought with him to see where he had grew up, and his little stomping ground. And um it was very funny because I'm like, unless she's somebody Peter just throwed in the mix, and this really wasn't his uncle and his aunt. It was just for filming purposes. The aunt did not even recognize Cynthia, and Cynthia is a well known model in her heyday, and a little bit here and there now. And with all the hype about the show, Housewives of Atlanta, you would have thought that they would have had some type of knowledge of the individuals and who they were, facial images in their minds, or even pictures. And I find it very hard that, if you grew up in this area and you frequently visit, the Caribbeans, you don't ever go see any of your people, or I just find it really hard to believe that, you lost contact with your favorite aunt for 18 years. And, it just is what it is. I don't get that. So I don't know if that was manufactured in, but it was just unbelievable to me. But again, Peter went and gave her a nice hug and everything, and she was thinking Mallory was Peter's wife. And I'm like, he didn't even try to stop it or grab Cynthia and go up to his wife, I mean, to his aunt, and introduce her. I didn't even see a clip that they really got introduced. I saw where she hugged Phaedra, and she was, very nice to Phaedra, and, she hugged Mallory, and that's who she really thought Peter was married to. And then when they finally said, no, this is Cynthia, it's like I didn't see her give a hug or any type of warmth or expression to her being Peter's wife. And I was like, oh, this is too much. She getting shaded by Peter's family, whom she never met. She married him, but she never really got into the basis of meeting his family, even if it was after the wedding and they went on honeymoon, or whatever. It's like they could have taken time out to either fly them out, or they actually go to where we're seeing them now in Ocho Rios to visit them in Kingston, to just get a little idea of where he grew up at. So to me, it seems like it's a lot she still doesn't know about her husband, but they have been married for, how many years they been married? 5, 6, 7 years. Okay. So that tells me a lot about their marriage. Is more on camera than necessarily in real life, And for all we know, they could be living separate lives. Because she does have that bar. They don't have that bar in North Carolina. I'm thinking they still do. I'm not really sure. Don't really care because, that's Cynthia's coin. Um, then they go on to where they actually are all eating at the table, and Kim acting a dumb role again. I'm told I like Kim, but just certain things she say are just out of pocket and just need to be set on reserve, like push pause. She's talking about, oh, it just looks so nice, the food just look this, that look that, getting all excited, just like a child ready to eat, hadn't ate in a couple of hours, and they been hollering about their hunger, and then they get it, and it's like, oh, so excited, but then yet she can't eat seafood. So I'm like, okay, what is going on here? What is she gonna eat? Salad, whatever. So they kind of just brushed off of her and just showed everybody else, digging into the fine cuisine of the islands of the excuse me, I forgot what it was. I know it was lobster, um, plantain, because it seemed like it was more African instead of dishes, instead of what he was trying to make it as. But anyway, moving on from that, everybody seemed to have a good time. At the eatery, and Kim was making them have an idea of the times that the photo shoot was going to start, what they needed to have and prepare for, this, and da da da. So she kind of was giving them the hypes of that, and that was pretty much it. They were just gonna, be ready, gonna finish eating and get back to the resort so they can prepare for the next day of taping, or the first day of taping. And that was pretty much it for that scene. Then we move on to with them getting back. I guess a lot of people didn't enjoy the food, or some people didn't enjoy it that well. And so Peter had something set up for them for like nightcaps for drinking and some light eateries. And of course, Portia, all of them, the girls are separated from the men. The men are doing one thing, um, and the women are doing their thing. And I'll start with the women. Nene had promised that when they were on the bus and Cynthia was discussing the issues that were going on between Kenya and herself and things that were said that Cynthia felt was not true and needed to have more exploration on what was being told to her that wasn't true, that they had to elaborate on at another time. So Nene on the bus, she had said that she didn't like to see any discord. What I'm like, what? Side eyeing her on that, and that she was gonna basically be the bigger person and go and get Kenya to come out and have drinks with them when they get back, so they can have some resolution, so everybody can have fun throughout the rest of the working pleasure trip. So when they did get back, Nene took it amongst herself to go to Kenya's suite, and Kenya must have had room service order because when she answered the door, she thought it was a sandwich that she had ordered, but it wasn't. It was Nene at the door, addressing her and letting her know that she missed her at the Little Kingston event that they was having. Going down memory lane with Peter and his family, and that she would like to clear the air and let her know that Cynthia's feelings was really hurt that she didn't come, and that lies were being told on her, or untruths that she didn't say, and things need to be cleared up, and would she mind coming out and having a discussion with Cynthia about it, because she did cry on the way to their trip on meeting Peter's aunt and auntie, uncle and auntie in Kingston. And Kenya was like, "Oh, she cried. Oh, okay. Well, she did have some emotions." So, and she was trying to blame Nene on the side, saying, you came in and disturbed, us, and, trying to force your way back in to the relationship and this, that, and the other, and starting chaos and, discord amongst, her and Cynthia and the rest of the group. And Nene was like, she didn't want to hear it, and she was glad that she still had that type of effect to come in and disturb, people's environments and their mentalities and stuff, because she's still thinking she's the head chick on the block. Nobody can knock her hustle or her flow. She's the be all it all. So Kenya, went on, and plus she needed to get her taping time. She went on out and went by the pool side and was just pretty much, kikiing it up and, listening to Cynthia. And Cynthia gave her a warm, heartfelt apology and considered her a friend, but to make it known that all the friends she have different relationships with each one of them. And it was done in, a professional manner and, kind of thought provoking. And anyways, Kenya accepted her apology and da 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 da. So after that, we went on to where Peter is having a little drinky drink with the boys, and everybody's there. Um, Bob Whitfield, Kim Field's husband, Chris, Greg, OG Greg, and Matt. I think I said Bob Whitfield too. Okay, so that was the men crew. And they're going in, having drinks, settling down, trying to get to know everybody. Well, really, I don't understand why they didn't give Bob Whitfield as well as Chris any shoulders to rub or try to dig into their information like they was trying to do with Poe Matt, because the only two original members of the I like to say good old guys club was Greg and Peter, and the other two excuse me, that was missing was Todd and Apollo, and we both knew where they were. So it was like, if he was gonna drill Matt, he should have drilled Chris as well as Bob Whitfield. But since he knew of Bob Whitfield, he knew who was a professional football player, this, that, and the other, And then he knew Sheree from the previous seasons that she had filmed on Housewives of Atlanta. So he kind of knew that background on Bob Whitfield. And like I said, he didn't know anything too much about Kim, and that she had been into some hit TV shows and did some theater stuff and all this great stuff, and that she was pretty much directing and producing his wife's commercials. So he kind of knew of her, but he didn't really too much say no Chris. So I don't understand why he didn't give the same aggressiveness or trying to be in somebody's business as he did Matt. However, I can say that, he didn't really go overboard with asking Matt. He was kind of drilling him hard that why he don't have any kids, what's wrong with him. Like, he's a big, nice looking guy. He he mistaken him as being an athletic person just because, he work out a lot and like to keep his body in shape and buff for himself and the ladies. And he just really felt that he looked like a ladies' man and that he should have been dropping children left and right. But everybody don't flow like you. Peter. They don't just sit and not pay child support and have all these darn kids floating around, and the ex-wives, hating you and all this kind of stuff because you pretty much abandoned everybody and you just went you just floating, floating, and floating, planting seeds and them hatching, and you going about your business. Everybody ain't trifling like you, Peter. Everybody ain't trifling, okay? And so I commend Matt for actually, standing his ground with Peter and all his accusations or, rudeness that he was giving to you because you're 28 years old. You didn't need no kids. And it shows you respected women because you didn't try to drop, eggs or sperm in them, hatching for, offspring to come out. So kudos to you. You having protected sex or, not enough sex because you wasn't with the right person. So I thoroughly commend you for that and standing around. Now, Greg, you got to excuse Greg now because he an old OG. Okay, I think he older than Peter. So he didn't too much know about you because they didn't, he didn't read the script. He was just going on what everybody else said. So I don't know what he had called you initially, but he didn't mean no harm. Greg just be in the corner. Anything happen off with Nene, oh, shit popping off. He don't care where he coming from, which direction. He coming for you. But, you have to forgive him. He didn't, overstep any boundaries, and he wasn't really badgering you. But it just kind of felt like everybody was trying to jump on you because you didn't have no kids here and everywhere, and I guess you weren't attached to so many women. And then when they found out your age, they were like, "Well, dang, I got, children, your age or whatnot." So anything, I think they were giving you a compliment to be able to be, up there bossing it like you were, and then you don't have, looking like they straggler asses got kids everywhere. But like I said, it is on the Peter. Peter Long one got straggling shit going around now because Greg, he got a hell of a lot of kids too that he ain't taking care of. Nene taking care of them too, but she chose to be with him. He chose to be with her. It is what it is. Um, so all thing I can say is that you pretty much stepped a little bit out your lane. Yes, you did. Let them men, get you into all your feelings because you had already stated, hey, you was an ex, I want to say Marines or Navy guy. So you already solidified yourself, and you're a personal trainer, and I think you have your own construction business. So kudos to you. You didn't have to come down on they level, honey. You should have stayed right up on your pedestal yourself and just answered their questions as discreetly as you could have and kept it moving. But uh. Peter could have joined you outside because I think you were just asking to have a private conversation with him without really knowing how to talk maturely to him. I guess if you would have said that to somebody your age, they would have followed you outside and maybe y'all would have had a conversation amongst yourselves. But, I don't know what old Peter was talking about. 'Cause, he half woman, half man. We just don't fool with him in that nature. We just let him roll, then talk and do what he want to do because he want airtime. So, with you getting out leaving, it kind of showed respect. And then I guess on the other hand, you were thinking that you had already heard Kenny's side of how Peter acts like a mess, or he tried to get in women's stuff and he ends up acting like an itch. And he didn't even want to be bothered with that because he's a real man. Somebody raised him correctly, and you just don't get in foolish stuff, even if it is grown folks' business. You still don't get in there if it's not addressing you, if it's not hurting you. So I could see why you kind of got a little perturbed on that note, because you had already visualized what was going on, as well as seeing Kenya come back telling you stuff. So you was getting your own mental picture and putting it all together, and it just wasn't for you to be in there. So I understand that. Then we move on to the scene where King starts giving out information. Back in the girls group, and the only thing I'm gonna say about this, King, you're wrong. You always think of people jumping on you, but you always trying to comfort folks when it ain't no common. You and Cynthia had already made up. Everything was peaceful. You could have got your drink, got you a little something to eat, and kissed whoever you wanted to kiss on the cheek or give hugs to, and get back with your man. That's because that was time for you and him to spend, because he had a bad time with the fellas over there. So y'all both would have pretty much made it back to the hotel room or suite room that y'all were in on the resort, and could have been doing your own thing, because it was settled. But no, you're gonna start more mess on Kim's livelihood as well as her life, which you ain't got nothing to do with. That Kim didn't come for you. She wasn't even there. But there you go again. Getting wild with the lips with no real reason. And it was what it was. And I hope Kim come back next episode, and get your behind for that, because that was just trifling. Sitting up there calling her husband Chrissy, or this is what the industry people say. Again, that's rumors. If you didn't physically see this person with another man cuddling up and all this and kikiing with, to get you to draw to that conclusion, you had no right. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You was a mess, and it don't look good on you. And it doesn't matter where he's, his little attributions for the love of the theater, or tap dancing, or this, that, and the other. You had no real reason to even bring that up, because Kim wasn't there. And if you're going to take shots at her, then you need to at least wait until she's in the room. But like I said, you was a punk there, Tanya. I wasn't here for none of that. Um, then we move on to the date of the actual commercial. And but well, before going a little bit bad, you did tell Cynthia that you were gonna participate in the video and this, that, and that, and you didn't do it, Kenya. Again, you being messy, and you not being honorable in your word, and saying you're gonna do something. So you were absent from the video because you got your feelings hurt, because as y'all were riding to the scene to shoot the video and stuff for the commercial, you had noticed the little itinerary Kim Fields had put together, and you didn't see your name on anything. So instead of you just making a statement, a general comment about it, and leaving it alone, you just gonna go tit for tat and just gonna lie and say you're gonna support Cynthia, when in actuality it came about, you took Matt and y'all went on in the little ocean and sea and went floating. And that's all I'm gonna say about you, because you were wrong. You were wrong in that sense. If you say you're gonna do something, your word is your bond. Should have did it. But anyway, I think Kim did a fantastic job with the photo shoot of the commercial, or with what she was given. It was a beautiful scene, and of course Cynthia doing too much, trying to do her modeling thing instead of listening to direction of what Kim feels trying to tell her to do. And that was pretty much it. But like I said, she made a beautiful model. Everybody in the group did what they were supposed to do. I didn't see Nene or Sheree Whitfield do anything but just pass out like little accessories they were going to need for the photo shoot. And Bob Whitfield was doing his little thing, trying to be a part of the scenery and all that, taking selfies, and Portia did a good job taking her little selfies. And Greg did a little scene where he was running. I don't know what he was running for on the beach. He wasn't trying to serve nobody. I don't know. Maybe he was being a yes man or a waiter. Who knows? And it was like a disgruntled customer wanting their drinks, and he was trying to get. I don't know what Greg was doing, but it was hilarious. I laughed at his little butt trying to run somewhere with his big self. And just everybody was in cohesiveness with getting the project completed and finished. Phaedra had her little shot with some things. She was participating. And Nene, like I said, she did what little she did. And her and Sheree was in the corner throwing shade about Kenya and her friend being out on the lake or ocean. Well, it was an ocean, and they were in a little kiddie boat, going around spending time. Like I said, it would have been okay if if Kenya would have pulled Cynthia aside and said, you know what, this ain't gonna work. I'm not feeling it. I don't want to mess up your photo shoot for your commercial. But Kim done upset me with the itinerary. I don't really feel like discussing it. I'm just gonna chill with my man. If you need me to issue out stuff, then I do it. But I I'm not right. I'm not mentally right with this whole situation. So I think it'll be best for me to excuse myself and I'll help you out with getting the stuff back, or packed up or whatever if I need to do that. But right now, I don't want to blow up anything. I don't want to mess up anything, and just give me a pass this time. She could have did that. That'd have been more honorable, showing her professionalism as well as her friendship towards Cynthia. But no, she don't throwing shade again, doing whatever she want to do because her feelings are hurt. She acting like a child. I really wish she come and give us what she's been giving us the whole time, but it seemed like she done took a back burner and letting Sheree as well as Nene do their thing. Okay. And so that was pretty much it. It's getting real bad now here in Atlanta with the rain, so I'm still gonna try to finish it. I ain't got that much more to talk about. But it was a success. Everything was real good. Then we have a scene where everything is done and things are being packed up and everything. And then what's her name? Kenya and her friend come back on land and they're just discussing how the day went and all that. And Kenya throwing shade because they having a fun time. They're thinking about having a wrap up party that evening when they get back to the resort and this, that, and that. Kenya's going around in her feelings, talking about why they laugh so loud? Don't they see we trying to do this? Like she just got all out yonder somewhere. So I was too much through with her because she was acting more like a kid. Didn't get her favorite toy, and so she's gonna cut up and talk shit. But no more of Kenya. We go on to them all getting back to the resort, and I don't know what happened. I guess Kim Field's husband had to do something in Alaska or do some other job, but he left. He took a flight back earlier, and everybody was invited to this wrap up party at this little restaurant on the resort beach resort area, and everybody came. Of course, King was the last to show up, like fashionable late, whatever. But anyway, everybody was pretty much just talking everything out and this, that, and the other, you know, just basically chilling. Everybody was giving Kim kudos for an excellent photo shoot. They hope everything comes out with everything. Of course, Kenya was, turning up her nose and all this kind of stuff, but didn't nobody care. They didn't want to hear anything else from her. Um, Matt ended up making up with Peter, kind of light apologizing to him for going off on him. They had played pool together, had drinks together. Everything seems to be pretty much solidified in that area uh, of going down. But before that scene, Kenya was talking to Matt about what had happened or had transpired prior to then about him getting into it with what's his name, Peter. Like I said, everything got ironed out, everything got cool, and the next clip, Portia had invited Oliver to come down, and he's her little Latin lover, and she's trying to throw shade like she's this perfect fidelity type woman where he's coming out to see her is all platonic. They're not gonna do anything. He's in her hotel suite, but he has his room, she has her room. He's just being upfront and frank about the situation. She was like, I ain't finna sleep in here. I ain't finna do it. We finna get in your room because you know what I came down here to do. Don't add, just because it's got cameras rolling and all this stuff. They know all this luscious me and all this luscious you. We gonna get it together. But she Portia trying to throw stuff on us like we know she's already a thought and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know where Portia was going. It wasn't good for TV because we all know her. So we knew she was gonna be giving it up that night with the rest of the folks giving it up. Um, and that was pretty much it, except for that was really pretty much it of it. Wasn't that much going on, but it seems like it's gonna be popping off next week because Sheree and all her wisdom, and like I said, she coming back for her peach. She gonna take Cynthia out. Cynthia gonna be a thought of the past, and she pretty much basically was telling Sheree towards the end of the show that everybody wasn't being truthful about things of that nature prior to her husband leaving. They were talking about her husband, and it wasn't flattering. They were saying that her husband was a little fruity, and I'm not like talking Lulu crazy. I'm talking about fruity like he likes to get with men and do his thing. So you can tell that Tootie, Regine, and Kim Fields had come in full circle, and she probably could have snatched the person who had said it, but it got to the point that she knew who had said it, and I'm just waiting for next week. I'm waiting for wigs to get snatched, heels to come off, folks to get running, cameras being cut off, and security coming out, child. I'm waiting for it. I'm here for it all, and I'm like, Sheree, thank you, honey. You bringing it, girl. And we know you ain't scared of Nene. We know you ain't scared, child. So that's all I got, people. And I enjoyed giving you the review, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.